Hi Soul Tribe, this is Renee Asiri with InsideJobHealing.com coming to you with this week's energy forecast. Well, on this cloudy day in Albuquerque, I am coming to tell you that there's very, very heavy energies, especially with everything going on. We already have Pluto retrograde, and Saturn is getting ready to station and go retrograde at the end of the week. And we have, Mercury going retrograde at the end of the month and signaling the eclipse season. So I don't know about you, but I was feeling extremely sleepy today, and I wasn't the only one. I checked in with lots of people and they felt the same. So there's a lot of heaviness right now. There's this energy of confusion as well. So hang in there, guys. Take lots of naps, take lots of rest, and give yourself permission to do so when you need to. Because there's a lot of downloads and upgrades happening. So let's talk about what's going on with Saturn. Let's give some good news actually first. So at the beginning of the week, we've had some good energies, but by the end of the week, things are getting a little bit intense with the Saturn stationing retrograde. So, yesterday Sun was trining Pluto, and so there was like this drive, this energy for ambition, going after our goals and dreams and things like that. And so I hope you took advantage of that kind of like push energy yesterday, but that's fleeting. And also, I don't know about you, but I've noticed that, communication has been easier for the last couple of days because of Venus is trining Saturn, and Venus is the planet of beauty, right? So it's really good for beautiful communication, forging long-lasting relationships, beauty. And actually, it's been really good for the stock market. So I don't know if you've checked your portfolio today, but I made some stock market moves today that I've been waiting on for weeks. Hint, check your, if you have AMC stocks. But yeah, I've been waiting weeks to make the moves. And I think with the stock market, you have to be very patient, very discerning, and pounce when the timing is right. And so Venus rules the stock market because it rules money, right? So the market looks good this week. I can't guarantee what's going to happen at the end of the week, but if you need to make some stock market sells or buys, this is a good time to do it, especially a good time to sell. Okay, so I do want to talk to you a little bit about the the confusion energy that's going on. It's funny, I constantly tell you guys that I'm somebody who prides myself on clarity and kind of having peace of mind and things like that. And I have to tell you, because my planet is Mercury, I'm extremely affected by what's going on because Mercury is making its first square to Neptune. There's two more. There's 3 squares altogether, which end in mid-July. So what the scary part of that is, obviously, again, because Mercury is my planet, because I'm a Gemini sun, and if you're a Virgo sun, same thing, Mercury rules you. You're going to be affected this more so than the collective. But the collective in general, you're going to notice that there's just going to be a lot of confusion and haziness and mixed messages and potential for lies or deception. And the reason for that is because, Mercury rules communication, right? And intellect and all that good stuff. And Neptune rules, it rules intuition, it rules spirituality. It's very murky though. It's a water sign. So it's kind of murky and unknown and a little bit hazy, right? And it does affect clarity. So then square, remember, is a negative aspect. And if we have Mercury, the communication and intellectual planet, directly squaring Neptune, obviously you're going to have some murkiness and haziness and lack of clarity. So be careful, guys, especially if you're going to sign contracts. Some of you guys are buying homes. Be very, very careful because Mercury also rules contracts, and we are getting ready to go retrograde at the end of this month, the end of May, where Mercury is stationing to go retrograde. And right now we're in the shadow period. So things are already weird. I know some of you hate Mercury retrograde, even though it happens 3 or 4 times a year. And you just can't get used to it because there's a lot of ghosting that happens, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of weirdness that happens when Mercury goes retrograde, a lot of issues with travel. I know I traveled one year to Florida and I almost missed my flight. I practically missed my shuttle. It was just craziness. And it was because it was Mercury retrograde. And I can't say I didn't know better because I did. So yeah, so don't focus too much on manifesting issues with contracts or travel and stuff like that, but just be aware. You just want to be really, really careful, and you want to read the fine print if you are signing a contract during Mercury retrograde. Also, even meeting people, like, they say that romantically, if you meet people during Mercury retrograde, it's probably not going to work out. So if you're in the dating scene, hit up Tinder ASAP and try to meet someone now before we go into Mercury retrograde. And definitely travel. You want to minimize travel in Mercury retrograde. Okay, guys, so hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you're feeling some confusion, if you're feeling this heavy energy, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling a little, uncertain about certain things and the way forward. Some of us also feel like we're still kind of in a holding pattern, where we're just like hurry up and wait kind of thing, where we're not making any big moves and we're just kind of waiting for the right time. So hit me up if you're somebody in that camp as well. So I think those are like the main energies I want to talk about. So for the collective, I just want to give you guys, first of all, a shout out for being on the planet and enduring all this crazy times, right? And, the V and everything that's going on in the world, and the economy, and just all of it, really. It's not an easy time to be on Earth. A lot of people, that got woke went back to sleep, but I just ask you not to give up on humanity, because I think there are enough of us that are wanting to ascend and wanting to release trauma and wanting to be, the best version of ourselves, and to purify our body and detox ourselves, and learn and raise our consciousness. So if that's you and you're committed to your expansion and growth, just a quick announcement, I have a couple of spots left. Please hit me up. The link is in the bio in my Instagram. If you are interested at Inside Job Healing, if you're interested in signing up for a free breakthrough session, the course is 50 to 60% off. It's the LRT Digital Lifestyle Transformation course. It's absolutely life-changing. It's 12 weeks, self-led, and I believe the scholarship is already spoken for. But anyway, so if you are interested, guys, because this is what we came here to do, I hope that you're not just on here consuming content and just using this for entertainment. I really hope that you are taking steps, because if you're watching Feel Good or Lori Ladd, they're always talking about being empowered, stepping out of your victim consciousness. They're always talking about releasing trauma from childhood, that keeps us imprisoned in our patterns. So if you actually want to do something about it, hit me up, because this course will help you, basically gain your emotional freedom, be in alignment spiritually and on a physical level. We start with a 2-week detox, and it really is a game changer. So without further ado, I'm going to keep going. So hit me up if you are interested. I'd love to hear from you. So basically with the collective, I just want to let you guys know that, right now, month does not, May does not play. This month is crazy. I feel like last month we really kind of were communicating with our future selves and trying to kind of up level. I think this month it's like we're getting hit with anything that needs to be removed for us to reach our higher timeline. So for example, if you're somebody who has issues or a trauma with being abandoned, you might notice that you're on a dating app and then you're getting ghosted left and right. Well, why is that happening? It's not because the universe hates you. It's because you need to clear that block in order to go to your higher timeline, right? In 5D. So like this month is brutal, guys. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like we are getting hit left and right. It's like the ghost of Christmas past, like things that you thought, patterns that you thought that you dealt with, traumas that you thought dealt with, insecurities that you thought you quelled. And we all have them, right? Like we all have insecurities. Like, if you're new to dating and you want to go on, and put yourself on the market, you're going to be self-conscious about your looks or your body or whatever. Like we all have insecurities. Or if your partner in a relationship doesn't text you back right away, you start to be like, okay, is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? And then we revert back to our like childlike people pleasing tactics and things like that. And then a lot of us get into our fears and the ego. And so this is all part of being human, right? Is like none of us are perfect. None of us, are, completely whole and complete. There's always room for growth and expansion. And I think the best thing that I can share with you is when all of your different triggers or people push your buttons, right? And trust me, you will be tested this month. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm kind of shocked. As much like work as I've done on myself for the last 10 plus years, I'm still noticing like people doing things or, you know, overstepping their boundaries with you. And Saturn's all about boundaries, right? So especially with it getting ready to station retrograde at the end of the week, you're really meant to kind of like revisit your boundaries. Like, are they too loose? Are they too harsh? And so, yeah, you have to kind of stand up for yourself and speak your truth and really be in your power and not worry about people pleasing. You know, again, obviously you don't want to be rude, but yeah, it's like, you know, what if people cancel on you last minute? What if people kind of, you know, don't honor your policies that you've set out at work? You know, like, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to let people, you know, step all over you, or you're going to actually have boundaries and speak your truth and speak up for yourself? So, you know, that's just like one example. Or how are you going to deal with, you know, people not messaging you back right away? Or how are you going to deal with people canceling you on last minute, right? Like, there's just a million things that could go wrong. And I think right now you're just meant to be really agile and flexible, because if you think about it, you know, not only are we being tested, but also if you don't want to deal with this when you're like 60, 70, 80 or whatever it is, that pattern, then you need to deal with that pattern now, right? So how are you going to handle that, right? Like, whatever comes up for you, you're not only being tested, but you're meant to be like, okay, if I'm a multidimensional being, then I'm going to have to hold space for any potential timeline. And, you know, and we really need to get over our expectations because they bring suffering, and we need to get over our attachments because a lot of us are like attached to a specific timeline. Like, I want it to happen this way and only this way. And that brings a tremendous amount of suffering if you don't get your way, which is like the ego. So you're really meant to go with the flow this month, guys. If someone cancels on you, just keep rolling. Don't take it personally, right? And that's the other thing, like, oh my gosh, whether it's business transactions or whether it's personal interactions, don't take things personally, because most things are about what that person's going through. It's not really about you, unless it's a pattern that's a trauma from your child that's being triggered for you to heal. But ultimately, don't take it personally, right? So whether it's a pattern from childhood that you need to heal to bring your body into present, you're just like, okay, thank you so much for being my teacher in this now moment. I got the message. I need to heal this within myself. Thank you so much. Don't shoot the messenger, right? Or it could be that that person's having a bad day, or that person's being triggered, or their insecurities are coming up, right? To be, you know, viewed and brought into the light of consciousness. Because a lot of times for us, like, we don't even realize that, like, oh my gosh, I'm still scared to be rejected, or oh my gosh, I'm still scared to be, you know, putting myself out there, and oh my gosh, I'm terrified to start a new relationship, so I'm going to stay in this old toxic one, or oh my gosh, like, I hate where I work, but you know, I'm worried that I'm afraid that, you know, the universe won't catch me if I leap, and I need the money and I can't leave. So the list goes on and on, guys. We entrap ourselves in so many situations, and it's time to be a master now. It's time to be a multidimensional being. It's time to hold space for all those timelines. And not be like a child if you don't get your way and have a temper tantrum, because really, what if the universe has something better in store for you, right? And so it's time to just hold space, go with the flow. Don't take things personally. Like, you know, again, whatever happens, just keep it moving, stay in flow. Just be like, okay, that's fine. That house wasn't meant for me, or that relationship wasn't meant for me, or, you know, that person and I weren't supposed to do a live together, or that person and I weren't supposed to meet, or I'm not supposed to work with this person as a client. And, you know, don't, you know, or you're trying to launch a product or something, or I didn't sell as much as I thought I would, I'm a failure, or whatever it is. Like, don't put that on yourself. Just be like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to deal with failure. Maybe I'm supposed to deal with rejection. Maybe I'm supposed to deal with abandonment. Maybe I'm supposed to deal with people not communicating with me. Maybe I'm supposed to deal with loneliness. Maybe I'm supposed to deal with all these uncomfortable feelings that I've been shoving down for years, right? So guys, the month of May is no joke. It's here to play. It is here to bring up anything that you need to clear, you know, maybe in lifetimes and this lifetime. So this is your opportunity. So let's be grateful. And the last thing I want to say from a collective perspective is acceptance. Right now, the major thing that I'm working with is acceptance. Accept whatever arises and don't judge it, and be grateful for the lesson, okay? I love you guys. Renee Siri with InsideJobHealing.com. Hit me up. Ask me any questions. I'm here to serve. Mwah.